I remember there was this one where girls were like, I hate when guys ask, like, how do you clean it? Like, obviously, I just put it in the washing machine. And then, like, you go through the comments, and it's like, yeah, girl, it's a twist off. Like, don't try to pull it. And, like, they were talking about how they just twist the whole thing off and throw it in the dishwasher or something. They're like, I use Delicate Cycle. It takes so much more time, but it's so much better. The results are worth it, girl.
Is it loud? Like, when, like, you know, like, if you have, like, jeans in there and you got the metal, is it like, gong, 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 you know? Or
It's actually, like, a soft tumble, like...
But you do got to put the dryer sheet in there, though.
You are crazy.
I ain't been this high on Perkins in a long time. I ain't been this high on Perkins in a long time. I took 2 30s and a half of a third one. I feel like I can see everything with my third eye. Feel like I'm floating, see the world from a bird's eye view.
I usually can't, like, relax enough to be funny. I'm getting better at being relaxed.
You were really relaxed last time.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like the one we didn't post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't post it.
You're saying some crazy stuff.
A little too relaxed.
Saying some offensive things. The most offensive guest on Third Eye.
You can't start like that.
You know how on YouTube it's like where they have a video of like the downfall of the Third Eye podcast or something.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, and then it's just the thumbnail's a picture of me.
Yeah.
With the soy face.
The horrible things that have been said on the Third Eye podcast.
It's just a compilation, and it's like 75% me, and then there's like a few comments from Derek or something.
Oh my god. It's hard to not get into the whole like social media creator culture of like focusing on like, I want to get views, I want to get subscribers, when I know I'm not in this to make money because I know it's not going to make money. Like I never planned to make money off of this. So there's no point to me like get it clout, you know what I mean? I just want people to see my art, obviously. Because my views are kind of tanking right now, but so I want to get more views and obviously subscribers, but like it's hard to not, you know, go into that mindset of like, oh, like I try to make it as interesting looking as possible, that like trying to make a crazy title, or you know what I mean, like just
the
that,
capital letters, exclamation points,
like that culture of just, if you don't, you know, act that way, you aren't going to get any views because that's how social media works, which like that's not true. You can definitely be authentic and get views if people really like you, which, you know, should happen to me, but it hasn't really. Yeah, it's tricky because I'm not getting much reward from not being a piece of shit YouTuber. Like, buy the merch, dude.
hit that like button.
Which you could do, but
What is up, guys? Welcome back.
oh my god. Yeah, I'd never want to do that because like it doesn't give me what I want out of it. I don't feel good about it,
Yeah.
obviously. But kind of on that topic with the whole clout chasing creator podcast, whatever, is I keep watching all these clips on Snapchat of like these podcasts I don't really listen to. Just like random shit on the Snapchat Spotlight, which is the worst content on the internet. Snapchat Spotlight is the worst, just video, like the worst people on there, like the girls who just post themselves all day, and that's their job. It's just, but there's always these podcast clips about like two guys or something have a podcast, and then they have a girl guest on, and they always ask her about like, you know, what's one thing that girls that guys like want to ask girls but never do, and then they ask her those like taboo questions, whatever. But I feel like if you actually have Riz and like have female friends and stuff, or even just have girls that you talk to, you don't need, like, you know all the answers to those things. Like stuff about periods and stuff. Like, is it really that? Do guys really not understand it?
That's been my question. Do guys actually, are they like, it's kind of a weird way to ask. Like, I don't know how to ask the question. I don't know if it's okay to ask it. Like, I feel like they're just, like, a little bit nervous, but then
Because, like, it's
just
so
normalized.
okay to ask that. It's not, like, offensive to ask that question.
Yeah, people are like, oh, don't ask a woman her weight. Don't ask a guy how much he makes.
Man, I wouldn't
Like,
ask a woman how much she weighs.
no, I wouldn't.
Don't do that.
That is not how you get bitches.
Yeah, do not ask a girl how much she weighs.
But it would be kind of, like, normal for, like, if one of our other friends came up to us and, like, asked me a question about a period, I'd be like, oh, he's trying to care for his
Yeah,
girlfriend
it's like,
or something.
that's
Like,
nice.
I wouldn't be grossed out and be like, I don't want to talk about this with you. Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't.
if a girl, what's like a guy problem that girls don't know? There's not many. Like, does it hurt when your balls jiggle when you run? Like, some bullshit. Like, they always are so confused about how we exercise with a dick. Like, does it just like flop around? Like, it doesn't really move that much.
Not really. I mean, if you're wearing underwear, it just kind of stays.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
your skin.
It's never been a problem. Except for one time when I was like 13, I wasn't wearing underwear under my shorts, and I was riding my bike,
Oh.
and I went to sit down, and I just sat directly on one of my testicles, and it was, that shit hurts.
Probably a question I know I used to have when I was younger was like, how do you clean it? But I feel like now it's just obvious.
Clean what?
Your dick.
Put soap on it?
Yeah, like now it's just obvious.
What? How's that a question? Like, it's so.
Well,
Just put
I
soap
mean,
on it.
like, oh yeah, but like, especially if you're like uncircumcised, like you gotta pull it back, and that was always like,
Yeah, well, I'm circumcised, so I wouldn't know. But,
cool.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't seem that hard, even if you are uncircumcised. Just pull it back and do the work.
Yeah, I remember I might have been like 13 or something. Like, I wasn't that young, but I didn't really think about it though. So it was just like, wait, how do they clean it? I don't know. And then it was just like, it wasn't really on my mind often. Is that thing clean?
I feel like that question's more for girls, because like, do you like really get in there and like put the soap
I do not,
just all in there?
but it wouldn't burn if I
Right.
did.
Because that I'd be afraid of it burning, because it burns in the dick hole.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
even the tearless,
The what?
tearless, like when you're washing your shampoo out and it runs down, it'll get. Does it ever burn when you're washing shampoo out?
No. Well, it has to get in your dick hole to burn.
Yeah.
Shampoo just on your dick doesn't hurt, but like when you, because sometimes as a guy, you know, you're in the shower like, man, I wish I could just, you know, jerk off in here, but then there's no lube around, and like dry isn't really that good. I've heard a lot of people say they only do it dry. I don't understand how you can do that. Like, sometimes it's good, but I need something. And soap is like, at first, like, this is really good, you know, but then you get surprised. Because with that, you're kind of like getting close to the hole, and like it gets in there,
Sudsy.
and then after like 5 minutes, you're just like, oh my God! It doesn't end up being that bad. It goes away, but you gotta wait for it to go away. And just like,
Your mom like passes the door and she just hears you like crying.
it's not
Just whimpering.
it's not excruciating at all. It's just it hurts.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, how I clean it, I just like, I get the soap around it, but I don't like,
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't get it in there. I saw
There's no really need to, because like, what's gonna be in?
on TikTok there was like a trend last year where it was like girls would do face masks and then they would post videos of them peeling it off and they'd be like, oh, it's my monthly peel, trying to like trick the guys into thinking that like we shed like reptilians. And like, surprisingly,
What guy is that dumb?
I think guys did believe it because it was becoming more popular. Girls were talking about like things that guys didn't know, and then it was like, oh well, now we're tricking them.
Didn't know that we didn't shed our fucking skin.
So like it was probably like 12-year-old boys, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh really, this happens? Like,
Yeah.
but a lot of the guys were trying to trick other guys, so they were like pretending that they were surprised by it. So I remember there was this one where girls were like, I hate when guys ask, like, how do you clean it? Like, obviously, I just put it in the washing machine. And then, like, you go through the comments, and it's like, yeah, girl, it's a twist off. Like, don't try to pull it. And, like, they were talking about how they just twist the whole thing off and throw it in the dishwasher or something. They're like, I use Delicate Cycle. It takes so much more time, but it's so much better. The results are worth it, girl.
Is it loud? Like when, like, you know, like if you have like jeans in there and you got the metal, is it like gong, 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 you know? Or
It's
is
actually like a soft tumble, like...
But you do got to put the dryer sheet in there, though.
Afterwards, yeah. Like you let it sit in there, because if it's drying at the same time with it flakes apart. So you let it, like, the dryer heats up, and then, like, maybe the last 15 minutes you put the dryer sheet in. That way it's not, like, tearing apart into shreds.
Sure.
Yeah.
I put it on the clothesline.
Just let it sit out there.
Who fucking cares, honestly? It's called women power.
Exactly. Girl, don't be embarrassed to have...
Let it blow in the wind. It's good for your mental health.
It gets all the bacteria out. Like, it just airs it out. And if you don't like clothesline, just, like, once a month, like, it truly does wonders, girl.
Link in description.
Tutorial.
Yeah. How-to video. On our OnlyFans, how to wash your vagina.
Yes.
With a dryer.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I never really had that many questions about guys, though, because everyone's like, oh, girls are so complicated, but I am a girl, but I don't think so.
Me either. Yeah, like, mentally they're complicated, but not physically. Like, the period is kind of, I get it. It's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know it's the shedding of the uterus, whatever. There's not much else you gotta really know.
Yeah.
I mean, once a month affects different things. Like, what's the big deal?
Facts about period cramps you might not know. So you know it gives you cramps and it can make your stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gives you the shits, though.
I believe it, yeah.
Yeah. Because it just upsets your entire stomach. So really flushes you out after the week. Really all cleaned up down there afterwards. And then, like a lot of girls will say the second day's the worst. And on average, like, the second and third day is the worst. But if it's if it's bad on the first day, it's horrible. It's, like, so bad, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my god, my stomach hurts. I'm, a little uncomfortable. And I'll be like, I'm on my period. I think so. So then I'll go look at the app and I'll be like, yep, I am. And then I'll go take, like, ibuprofen, and I'll drink a shit ton of water.
So, like, Advil does help. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I thought it was, like, kind of immune to medicines, but...
There is better medicine. Like, there'll be, like, menstrual pain relief versus just regular Advil. But it really, really hurts. If it's hurting a little bit, that's, like, just uncomfortable. But sometimes, like...
And just to check, you insert the ibuprofen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it dissolves.
Actually, if you get the kids chewable...
Oh, it's like... Oh, yeah. The different flavors.
I like the cherry one.
I've heard great burns.
I steered away from it for that reason. My mom came up to me and, like, it was, like, the middle of the night or something, I think. It might have been, like, after dinner or something. I know it was, like, later on in the day. And, like, I came up from my room, and I'm talking to her in the kitchen, and then, like, it's quiet for a while. Like, we're just talking about normal stuff, and then it's quiet. She's like, doing some kind of dishes, and she's, like, getting ready for bed and stuff. And she turns around, she turns off the sink, she turns around, and she goes, you know where the clitoris is, right? Yes. I was like, I do. Why? And she just said, I'm just making sure. And then she turned back around and finished the dishes, then went upstairs and didn't say another word. We were not we weren't even talking about, like, women in general. I have no idea where it came from. But I was like, what would she have said, like, if I didn't know? She would have pulled up a diagram, started, like...
Yeah, how do you describe
She would have explained it, been like, well, there's like 3 holes, and then, like, one of the holes is right next to it, and, like, started describing the location of it. Let me show you a picture, actually. Like, that was so weird, because then I was, like, stunned. I was up there for another 5 minutes trying to figure out why.
That's funny.
Mm.
I never got how guys don't know where it is. It's like the fucking most obvious shit.
There's 3 things there. There's the clit, the folds, and then the hole. There's more than that, obviously, but to guys, that's all they see. The clit, the lips, the hole. What else could it...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how they could think, that the lips are definitely the clit. And the hole's obviously not it, because other guys can't seem to find it. So you're like, well, it's not the obvious one. What else is it going to be? It doesn't make any sense to me, like, where they get lost.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, if you ever watched porn ever, you would know.
You see what they focus on.
Yeah, exactly. Amateurs.
Yeah. Actually, my clit's, like, on my thigh.
Mine's right here. It's my third eye.
Yeah, I found that out when I kissed you on the forehead that one time. I was really weirded out, like, the first few times I would, like, kiss you on the forehead, and then I was like, I don't know why you're drooling right now. But then I figured it out. Clicked.
But yeah, there's also stuff about, like, girls talking about going on dates, and, like, the guys are asking questions, like, what's the worst thing you could say, you know, when you first go up to a girl, you know, which, like, I've never gone up to someone in public, just, like, a stranger, because that's, like, fucking terrifying. And there's no way to do it without being awkward. Like, that is extremely difficult. How do you approach somebody? Like, that's already, you seem creepy, because you saw them, you thought, oh, they're hot, I'm gonna go talk to them. So, like, you know that's why they're there. It's just, that's fucking difficult.
See, I've never thought of it like I know everyone's, like, awkward, and they're not all that confident sometimes, but I would literally just walk out. And I'm a girl, so I would do the high-pitched voice thing. Hey, oh my gosh, I love your shirt. Are you busy later tonight? That's a little straightforward.
Yeah. You haven't tell you your name yet.
But you go up and you're like, hey, that's how you start. You just say, hey.
Yeah.
Boom, you're in. She goes, hi, what's up? You need something. You just go, I wanted to say I really think you're pretty. Is it okay if I got your number? Or, you know, are you single, open to that? And then you wait for her response. And obviously you're over here, like, trying not to laugh. You're like, I'm really awkward right now. And then she gives you her number. And you're like, all right, well, I'll text you then. And you just walk away. And then you high-five all your friends. You tell them how much, you know, how nervous you were.
Yeah, that's
I never thought it would be so hard, though. That's
fucking difficult. Like, you have to be very confident to not seem weird.
When I was in therapy...
Even if you're just asking, the right way to do it would just be like, hey, I think you're cute. Can I get your number? You know, that's all you gotta say.
That is so, like, I think you're cute. Can I get your number?
Not saying it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, the pickup lines, no. Like,
no,
don't be creative.
Never liked
Do not be
single
creative.
pickup line.
Just be simple with it.
But I do think if you're drinking, like, at a bar, that's the only appropriate place to use a pickup line. Go over there, you do this purposely stupid one, and it's kind of funny.
Then you're this drunk idiot, like, trying to hit on girls, like, it's clever, right? Like, shut the fuck up.
But if you know it's a stupid pickup line, you're only doing it because it's stupid, and maybe this girl's a little blonde, a little ditzy, you'll know she'll like it. It's only that opportunity, though. Like, it doesn't work if you're being serious about it. Yeah. Are you from Tennessee? No, why? It doesn't work.
No. But I feel like what I tried to do when I was, like, you know, in that lifestyle, whatever, like at parties or something, you don't, like, give them a line or, like, go ask for the snack right away. You just hang out with them. And just, like, casually, oh, like, do we want to play pool, or you don't want to, you know, what you want to... Just casually, oh, like, you know, is that your friend also? Like, I know him, and, like, just, like, calming ground. And then you just kind of drop hints throughout hanging out with her at the party, and then eventually you can ask, like, can I get your number or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there needs to be, like, guess what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get your number right away. Like, just hang out with it.
Yeah.
Just, like, be cool, be yourself, you know?
When I was in therapy, I had to do She didn't really say like you have to, but she was like, if you want to get over social anxiety, like this is what you do. And I didn't have bad social anxiety, but I used to be like pretty outgoing, and then I got really awkward, and then outgoing again. Now I'm like the most outgoing I've ever been. Um, I'm more mature about it though. I'm not just like walking up to strangers and going like,
Like
"Hi."
you have a very good mix right now because you're like very chill about it, but you're just genuinely just not, you don't have social anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would go up to, well, not like walk up to people, but like just like on the walk over to your house, like I would see someone and I just wave at them and they wave back because they're like, I don't know who the fuck that is, but I'm not going to be rude.
I mean,
by not
if
waving
I would
back.
pass somebody, I say hello. Like I would wave.
Ugh, I don't do that if they're on the same side of the street as me.
Well, then you kind of have to because like they're right in front of you. Like if it's the other side of the street, you don't need to acknowledge that they're even there.
No, I
But,
do
like-
it because I can go out of my way. I can do it. It's my decision. But then if they're on the same street as me, I just like, I always have my head down. If they say it first, I say it back. I'm still that way.
But that's kind of rude. 'Cause everyone expects just like a, like, yo, that's it. That's all you gotta do.
That's so much though. I would rather just walk.
You'd rather go out of your way to someone across the street. Hi, like
Not that energetic, but yeah, I'd rather
Like,
someone's
who-
getting into their car
who
with their
waves to
groceries.
someone across the street?
I do.
That's
Because
so much
it's
more
my
difficult.
decision. They're unloading groceries from their car. I just go, hey there. I wave at them.
If I was the person, I'd be like, what? Why are you talking to me?
But if they're on the same side of the street as me and if I'm not prepared, I'll put my head down and I'll just walk looking at the ground. Worst case scenario.
Just like smile.
I will. I'll be staring at the ground and then like I'll glance up every once in a while. And if they're smiling at me, I'll smile back. If they have dogs, I'll smile at them. If I'm really in a good mood, I'll say I like your dogs.
Oh, no, I'd never say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. If I was a person across the street, I'd be like, oh my god, don't talk. Why are you talking to me?
But it feels better when they're across the street because it's your decision.
That's more scary.
Like,
When it's like, okay, I have to do this, but like it's easy because everyone knows, like they already know what you're gonna do. They know you're gonna say hello. Like it's not weird. It's just like we both know that we're probably gonna say hi to each other, and it's not weird. It's just acknowledging them.
I'll
Not you have to
wave-
say hi. You just acknowledge like you're here. I'm smiling at you. Like I'm nice.
I'll literally wave at someone across the street and go, hello, and then someone on the same street as me is walking
That's so
beside
awkward
me,
for them.
and I would ignore them.
That's so awkward for the person. Why are you saying hello to this person?
Oh, it's just, I don't know.
I'd be so confused if someone across the street goes hello. Like what?
Exactly, that's the point. They don't know you at all.
But you're putting them in a bad situation.
Oh, I don't care.
Ugh. No.
I would be, if it was them waving at me, I would wave back, but I would be like really confused. I wouldn't immediately go, hey, who was that? Like I would just immediately be like, who's that?
Exactly.
Like, but the point was to just do something. You could go up to a stranger. This was the real exercise. You go up to a stranger and you have a conversation. I really like your shirt. And it's like, oh, thanks. Where'd you get it? And you just have this pointless conversation. And the next time you see them, look at them and see if they recognize you. Probably won't. Especially if they're
You
working.
probably won't even see them again.
Well, if you're in a store or something, or if you're in your hometown, like if they
Yeah.
work at the store, they probably won't recognize you again. There's so many people that come into the restaurant I work at, and I don't know them.
Yeah.
Like, they come in twice. I've never seen you before. They come in 6 times. Maybe I'll recognize you a little bit, but I'll think I just saw you around the block or something.
Yeah.
So if you go into a grocery store and you see someone, you have a random conversation, then the next time you're there, if you see them at a register, go to their register and see if they look you in your eyes and go, hey, how you been?
Hey, you Ben.
They probably won't say that, but, see if they look you in your eyes and, like, you'll recognize, like, oh, that means they know me, rather than just, like, cash or card. Like, different interaction. But usually they won't recognize
Like if
you.
someone says like, "Hey, I like your shirt," I'd be like, "Oh, that person was really cool," But then if they keep asking me questions about it, I'm like, "What are you trying to suck my dick? Like, why you ask me questions about it?"
Well,
I
that
don't
was
want to-
I was
I don't wanna
supposed to have
talk
a
to-
whole I was supposed to have a whole conversation with a person and then see later if they recognize me.
And someone's like, "Hey, where'd you get your shirt?" I'm like, what? You don't need to know that.
Yeah, then you just
I
go,
don't want to talk to you.
I don't know, got it as a gift.
Yeah. Because then it's weird. Then it's like you're trying to hit on them. Because like no one gives a fuck that much about someone's shirt. You know?
I've noticed that with especially older moms or something, they'll be at the grocery store. Oh my gosh, I love your jacket, Mom. Please don't talk to this poor woman.
Literally.
Just please
And
don't.
it's just, okay, thank you. And then you leave.
Yep. But then the other woman will be like, "Oh, thank you," and then she'll go back and then my mom, she'll be like, "Did you get that at Boss
Oh
Cos?
my god.
I swear I've seen that around
It was on the clearance rack, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Yep. I'm gonna go get
At that
pretzels.
point, then like I'm at the freezer or something getting a drink. You're still talking to me.
Yeah. Ugh.
Kids in school who like would never finish their trays, always like ungrateful.
I would take the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I would always finish my tray because everyone would be talking the whole time and they wouldn't eat. It's like you can talk and eat at the same time.
I know.
You fucking like just dumb kids. You think that they can't talk and eat the same. Like you don't know motor skills.
I used to talk a lot, and I still finished my
Exactly.
food and two other people's.
It was not
food.
fucking rocket science to eat and have a conversation.
I remember when I was in middle school, we had our small table, and I would eat my food, and then I would share a salad with Jade, and then I would move on and start asking the other kids at our table if they wanted that food. And the two tables beside us, if I saw they had their cookie and they're trying to trade their cookie or something, I would walk over to that table and be like, "Are you gonna eat that?" That's how outgoing I was. And then I would try to talk to them.
This is actually an interesting question because like the whole quiet kid thing, I had that topic with a different episode because I was a quiet kid. What was your view on the quiet kids? Because like I don't know who the quiet kids were in your grade,
Noah.
but no,
Bucks.
really?
Yeah.
I thought he was more outgoing always in school.
I remember in my class, he wasn't like the stereotypical quiet kid. Like he was just
a chill guy.
yeah. He was just like on his own a little bit.
That's right.
We had the one other friend, well not we, but Noah had one other friend. I think they were friends. Because this kid was the quiet kid. But I remember I was talking to him for a little bit, and we were, acquaintances. We were friendly.
Yeah.
But I thought
The quiet one?
Yeah. I thought the quiet kids were nice. I was like, I don't know why they're so shoved out. So I would talk to them a little bit. And I would make it because if they were a weirdo, like this quiet kid was.
Some are.
Yeah.
That's true. Some are.
Yeah. If they were a weirdo, then I was not associated with them. I was just being polite as a person.
Yeah.
And if they're not a weirdo, then I find out they're not a weirdo. And I bring my other friends, and I'm like, this person's actually kind of cool. We could hang out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could smile at them when they pass you in the halls, something like that. But me and this kid were talking a little bit, and I did notice he was a weird, quiet kid. Not like, I'm going to shoot up the whole school, but by middle school...
Not like negative weird, just weird.
By middle school, it would have been that. But... but in
A troubled kid.
Yeah. In 5th grade, he just had, bad grades, and the teacher picked on him. And, she didn't really pick on him, but he just had the bad grades, and she would literally call out his name and be like, "This is your grade. I know your grade. Now the whole class knows your grade." She would call out his grade in the whole class and be like, "Now everyone else who's listening knows your grade, and I'm telling you now you need to pick it up." So she picked on him.
Which teacher? I'll block it out. I thought it was that.
Yep. But the teacher would call out his name and be like, "Hey, your grades are this." And he had D minuses. He had 2 F's. Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
So the teacher just called him out, and then I remember I was nosy, so I was listening, but I wasn't judging him.
Of course I'm listening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't judging because
Yeah,
I
of
was
course not.
nice.
Because I'm like, dude, I have an F too. Who fucking cares?
Me too. Yeah. I hated that class. So I remember I felt bad for him, and I was like, oh, and I had already started to talk to him a little bit, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I'll let him know my grades aren't the best either. I know how much pressure that is. it's only 5th grade, but like there was a lot of pressure on me. But I was like, oh, I could be nice to this kid about that too. And like just figuring out ways to make this kid's life nicer, because he was always like playing with his pencils just like on his desk, like he didn't really have anyone else to talk to. So I was like, I'll go over and talk to him. And then she called out like, now everyone knows this. And I was like, well, now if I bring it up, he's gonna know, because that's embarrassing. Now that the teacher's like, now everyone
Yeah, I
who's
wouldn't
listening,
bring it back up
no,
to him. Yeah.
So I was like, never mind, I don't want to do that, because that's like kind of bullying almost. Like,
What
I was
is
gonna be
nice, like,
about
if I
him.
was that kid, I would appreciate, like, someone going, like, hey, I'm sorry about what happened. That was, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, someone doing that would be, like, nice. Because I remember in, like, 4th grade, it was, like, how we always we'd sit in the cafeteria, like, when we first got there in the IS?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the front table was, like, I had all my friends were sitting there, and it was, like, the front table was always so fucking packed.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to sit there for some reason. Like, I was obviously I want to sit, like, with my friends. And then I guess one of the lunch ladies was like, oh, you have to go all the way to the back, because, like, everything else was, like, filled up and I couldn't fit at the table. I forget exactly what happened, but I feel like she was kind of a bitch about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go sit in the back. And then like that day, like, everyone was like, dude, I'm sorry about that. That was so stupid. Like, and like kids I did not expect that would, like, care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was cool. But yeah.
Yeah, so I liked the quiet kids. I was pretty nice to them. But then there would be, like, there was quiet kids that everyone knew was quiet because they were really weird. And it was like, I felt bad for them, but there's no way I was going to go up and ruin my reputation with my friends and be like, yeah, I was talking to the weird kid that no one likes. I could have been such a nice person if I didn't have friends.
Well, you don't have to, like, be their friend. You just treat them like everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be their friend.
Yeah.
Just like, what's up, man? I feel like all you gotta do. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, it's so dumb that everyone assumed I didn't have friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of friends. Like, a really good amount of friends, actually, in middle school and the IS. I had a whole friend group. And, like, guys never saw me talking to them. Like, I have friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because, like, everyone thought I was, like, so depressed because I just had like a sad, like, resting face.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, back then I was not. Like, I hated school, but I wasn't genuinely depressed. I was fine, But then now, if people think, like, because now I've told everybody, like, no, I'm not depressed. I just look like that when I'm just hanging out, And now everyone thinks, like, okay, he's not actually depressed. He just, like, looks like that. But then now I actually am depressed. So it's like, well, no, now it's real, though.
Now you can
Like,
bring it
now
up
my
and
face
talk to
actually
me.
looks bad for a reason.
Yeah. I wouldn't look at you and assume you didn't have friends, though. Just because you were quiet.
Well, you didn't know me back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get how that, because I, like, obviously talked to them, the friends. Like, why would they not think that I don't know. They just don't pay enough attention to quiet kids. They don't actually look at how they really act. They just kind of don't acknowledge, like, oh, he's just quiet. They don't really take the time to think about anything.
I liked the quiet kids in my class.
Yeah, I respect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They weren't obnoxious. Like, a lot of
Exactly.
people were obnoxious. I was just happy and I, like, talked to people, but I wouldn't say I was obnoxious.
Yeah, I don't think that you're one of those kids who, like, would not shut the fuck up in
No.
class. Like, those kids would piss me off.
And when I was talking, like, I would be talking to Jade and we'd be whispering and, like, try to genuinely
Yeah,
keep
I'd talk
it
to my
a
friends, too,
minimum.
in class, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have, like, a class pet?
No, never had one.
I didn't think they existed. I thought they were, like, a fantasy.
We raised chicks in 3rd grade, but that wasn't really a class pet. It was, like, for one unit.
Yeah.
And then there was the cockroaches in science. This is, what's it?
B word, right?
Mm-hmm. For biology.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't like a class pet, though, I feel like.
I don't remember cockroaches.
Remember them? They hissed.
Oh,
This is so funny. Everyone's so scared of them, but, like, they're not going to jump out of the fucking cage at you.
I feel like we did have one, but I don't think it was cockroaches. We had something.
We had cockroaches, yeah.
Remember the crawfish in, I don't remember what grade. 3rd grade? Maybe?
Yeah, why do we have crayfish? Just for no reason. I do remember that, because I used to actually go crayfishing with a friend from school.
That's the only time I've ever seen a crayfish.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to catch them. Like nowadays, I don't know if I'd want to pick it up. You know, I was like 13 when I did that.
Yeah, I want to pick it up. I know where to hold it still. I know.
It was third grade, I think. Mm-hmm. The crayfish. Why did we? There's like some type of science thing. Study them.
And we had mealworms.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember Mrs. Gingrich the one time she goes, "What goes in must come out." Because the next morning we came in and we're like, "Ew, they pooped," and she's like, "Someone's got to change the napkin below them. What goes in must come out." And we're just like, why did she say
second
that?
grade, right? The mealworms.
Yeah, that might have been before
Mouse.
crayfish. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. We grew plants in first grade. That was cool, I guess.
I like the plants. And then fourth grade, did we have anything?
Was that the chicks or was that third?
I thought the chicks was... No, fourth grade was the chicks.
Yeah.
And then fifth grade, we had nothing. And I don't know why everyone was so excited for fifth grade.
Fifth grade was kind of fun.
But
because of the friends. Because of the friends. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. Mm-hmm. But it was just a good year as far as friends.
Friends, yeah, I'd say it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it was mediocre.
Like in fourth grade, I definitely had friends, but not as many as I did in fifth grade. Mm-hmm. Just a more fun year.
Fourth grade, I had better friends.
Third grade, I had two like best friends, so we were the funniest motherfuckers. Like not like class clown, but like just like to ourselves, like just all the jokes that we made up were just so fucking funny. I miss that shit.
Yeah, I liked my fourth grade friends, and then I liked my fifth grade friend, and my other fifth grade friend, but then not the other one. Got bullied a little bit by her. That was my only genuine bully.
Yeah, I never had a bully. Like kids would be stupid, like pick on you, but I never really had a problem.
Yeah, I didn't really actually have like a all the time bully. It wasn't.
Yeah, definitely not.
It was just in general.
I've never been threatened as like physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that? No one does that anymore. No one like beats up people for no reason.
Nope.
Because I feel like, and this is not true for all schools, but at least for Elko, it's kind of law of attraction with the bullying. Like, if you're cool, no one's gonna bully you.
No, they pretty much leave you alone unless you do something.
If you're into the drama, that's why you're getting bullied. Yeah, don't say that fucking name. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I did not like the kids at Elko though.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked obviously my friends, but the kids at Elko, they're not really like anything extreme. They're just fake.
Yeah.
They're like a fake nerd, a fake jock. Like they're trying to be a jock, but they're not really a jock. You know?
Yeah.
Elko's very fake. It's like we're in a fucking cornfield. Like what else are we gonna do?
Got nothing.
We have no idols.
Yep.
I like the cornfield area though.
Yeah.
It's like we are like the children of the corn. It's a cool vibe.
I do like the area. It's nice.
Love it. Like yeah, it's boring, but it wasn't boring for a long time.
It's very comfortable.
Like it was like fun as fuck for years. We found so many things to do in this small town. We find so many spots to ride at, so many random like, weird things to do. Like drive around for so many years. Like it's just. It wasn't boring for a long time. It just gets boring over time, definitely. Because there's not really any like places to go as far as like restaurants and stores and like, but everything outside was fun, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the vibe in Richland. There's no cops. There's just like, I own this shit. Like no one can tell me what to do on the street. Like this just, I can walk around at 3 a.m. and not worry about anything. No cops can be like, get home. Like they just aren't
they
around.
just don't do that.
They're not around. And it's just, yeah, it's fucking nice.
Yeah, I wish I was in Richland sooner. Because my dad only moved here when I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's always weird that you didn't have like the same childhood as me with like the going out with your friends all the time and like as like little kids.
Yeah.
Like we would always like ride our whatever we had, like bikes or
Bikes.
scooters. It would start out as like I guess it was always bikes and scooters, but that's the best shit.
Yeah, I really like the vibe I used to have with my dad, like in Newmanstown. And then it was just like my uncle was like our best friend. But then now it's like I actually have real friends.
Your dad still lives in Newmanstown?
He used to live in an apartment in Newmanstown.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, he also used to live with my mom when I was
Well,
3.
yeah, but that's like count.
I do wish I remembered that.
You don't remember any of it?
No, I was only 3.
But you remember like little blips, like
Nope, not one.
that's weird. I remember like little tiny things from when I was at that age, like just little like clips, little, you know.
There wasn't much good to remember,
Yeah.
so it was all right. I used to have a fake memory of my dad sitting on the couch with the dog and a coffee table, and then peanuts in front of him and the football game on the TV and a beer, and that was like it. Like he was sitting there eating peanuts, drinking beer, watching football with the dog. And my mom came in and started to vacuum, and he's like, I can't hear the game, you know, we could do this tomorrow, I can do it
Which
tomorrow.
is annoying.
Yeah. And he's like, I could do it tomorrow. And she's like, well, I wanted it done today. And he's like, well, I just didn't get to it today, you know, but she was upset that he's sitting on the couch. So I don't know if it was even real, if it was a story I heard, but I just remember that. And then, like, I don't remember there being a resolution. I just know she continued vacuuming and he continued watching TV.
And that was the same house.
Yep. But I don't think it was a real memory. Because I wasn't in that. I see it in, like, third person, I guess, like camera view. I can't see myself there, but I can see my dad. And then the camera, like, spins and I can see my mom. So I don't think I was actually there. Because she wouldn't be vacuuming with the baby on the floor.
Well, you weren't obviously a baby.
Yeah, I was 3.
Yeah.
But that's, like, the only actual memory I have of my dad when I was a kid. Like, there's one other, but he was in the apartment, and he was running, and I was like, whoa, first time I saw Dad run. And that was it. I think there was, like, ice or something, and he was trying to run to catch Gavin. There's some good memories of the apartment. That's, like, my best memories.
Mm-hmm.
I really like those ones.
This is kind of like a in-depth one, but I just thought of it. Like the other day, I was listening to Juice WRLD, and the one line was like was how the drugs like turn you into a different person. Like you feel like a different person when you're super high on like opiates and stuff, in a good way. Like you don't have any strings attached anymore. Like you're totally free, in your mind. I was like, I have the urge, like I want to feel like what it's like to be a different person, not because I really care about what they feel like, but like not like a person I know, but just a different person in general. Because like, man, I'll never be able to like be outside of myself, you know. And I think it's just part of like getting comfortable being yourself, which is weird because I was always like so comfortable being myself. That's like my thing. It's like I love myself. I love being myself. But now it's like kind of the opposite. And I'm trying to get back to that. But like, what do you feel about that?
I used to be the opposite. Hated being myself. Only wanted to be another person. And I did want to be other people because I wanted to see how it felt to be them. And like how they thought, how their worldview was. I just wanted to like go into their body and just live their life for like a week. A day's too short. And then like, and now I'm being more comfortable with myself and just like getting used to it's not going to change, but like I don't see it as like it's not going to change. Like I see it more like it just isn't, and I need to be comfortable with that. And
that's awesome though.
And I'm definitely like the more confident I become in myself, the more like I notice I'm just like fuck you to other opinions. So like I'll be like, oh, I really like the idea of this, and someone else will be like, I don't really, it's all right, and I'm just like, okay.
That's where I get it from.
I'm just like,
that's where I came from. Was like always people around me were always like very like they always like liked my opinions. They always like made it okay for me to be myself and like have differing opinions from them. So that's where I get a little bit too much of like fuck everybody else's opinion. Mine's right, you know. There's no other way to do it. I mean, which like isn't good, but it's good in a little bit where like you just genuinely don't take shit from other people.
Like, it's okay if they put their input there, and it's your choice if you take it. Sometimes it's good if you take it, and sometimes it's like, well, you can't let them continuously change your mind. Like, with you, I know I was, like, I think it was before we became, like, really close, where I would see your opinion, and I'd be like, oh, he's probably right about that. Like, he's cooler than me, so he's probably right about this. So I should probably change my opinion to see more like that. And then we would talk about it again, and then my opinion would match yours. And it's like you would almost forget my original opinion, because you would never be like, oh, well, before you said something different. You used to a little bit, but then, like, most things you weren't like, oh, you used to not agree with that.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like...
I don't remember it being a very, like, apparent, oh, wow, you just changed for me. Like, I never really noticed.
No, because you wouldn't ask it, like, a week later. Like, it would be months later.
Yeah.
But I just know, like, I really, really liked your opinion.
Thank you.
So
because I would say, like, oh, well, you don't need to do that for anybody else. But then I'm like...
But for me...
Well, I mean, that kind of probably helped you out a little bit. You know, probably kind of, like, improved your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Thinking more like me. But not now, but back then. Mm-hmm. Don't think like me now.
You're very emotional with how you think, and I'm very logical.
Mm-hmm. Which is the balance is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that I'm logical, and I can be, like, I can see it emotionally, but my instinct is to go logically.
And for me, it's just the opposite.
Mm-hmm. And I see emotion as part of the logic. Like, oh, there's this thing I could do, but it could hurt someone's feelings, but it could be better for me. Well, logically, I should bring it up to that person who it could hurt and see their opinion and try to work through it together. And then it wouldn't hurt their feelings, and I would end up doing the right thing anyways.
Wait, what? I was confused.
If there's like
I was kind of zoned out.
If there's like a situation where if I wanted to do something and it was going to hurt your feelings, like if I was like college, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Texas for college or something, like that would be really far away. And you'd be like, well, I wouldn't really get to see you then. I would be like, oh, well, you know, here's a compromise. This is like my dream school, so I'm definitely going here anyways. But we would be able to talk about it and like compromise, like I'll be able to see you this many weekends, be able to call these days, you know, hang out. All my breaks would be spent down here, not at the beach with friends. Like,
well, I mean, I am your friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't make other friends in college. I don't see that as a necessity. Like, I would have friends.
Well, I
in
mean,
classes.
you would naturally make friends, but yeah, you wouldn't like put them above me. You're saying,
no,
right?
But like, I would obviously bring it up to you before I accept to go to that school. I would bring it up to you. So I could think emotionally, but then the logic takes over. So it would still be more prominent because I'm logically going to go to that school because I have always wanted to go to that school. So going to that school anyways, but I take emotion into account before fully deciding.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just like when I say things too emotionally, it's kind of like everything's just kind of. It's so fucking hard to describe seeing the world emotionally because it's like you're looking at it through a different lens. Like when I say, the way I describe it is like it's kind of everything's just like a bunch of like colors and it's just like meshing together and like everything's just like you dumped a bunch of paints together and just kind of like, you know, drew it all over the place. Like that's like how I see everything. It's like this moving colors and like it's so just a raw emotion. Everything is so affects me so much, like the waves, which like that doesn't make any sense to somebody, but like I don't actually fucking see colors. Obviously, it's like a different lens. Like I'm looking at it. I'm like seeing something through my mind, almost in like a creative way, like because I feel like I process everything through art. So It's so hard to describe. It's I don't know. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this has been another banger episode with one of my favorite guests, Gabe Hedgepeth. Always a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the normal YouTuber outro. Fuck the subscribe button's mom, and just absolutely blast the follow button on Instagram. But no, yeah, subscribe, follow, like, appreciate it, and that's it. Peace.
I think it's time to drop the lights on, but I ain't on 30,000 feet up. Got my ice on, but I ain't up 30,000 degrees. Yep, my stash 30,000 in the freezer.